What would you do if you had something so valuable that everyone wanted it? Have you ever wondered if maybe, just maybe, you were already in possession of one of the most valuable things on the planet and you hadn't even noticed? Can you even imagine what one of these things could be like, or could be worth? Welcome to Who's Number One. In this video, your questions are going to be answered as you are about to discover the world's 10 most valuable assets in 2024. So I'm not going to keep you waiting. Let's dive into it. Number 10. Bitcoin. How in the world is a virtual currency among the 10 most valuable assets worldwide if it doesn't have value? Well, the answer is actually quite easy, because it does. In 2009, you could buy one Bitcoin for a cent. In 2021, if you wanted to buy that same Bitcoin, you had to pay $69,000. Crazy, right? Well, the craziest part is that Bitcoin is still quite early on its journey and could still go way higher up in value in the future given there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoins worldwide. And its market capitalization of $815 billion is still relatively small and considerably far from its $1.3 trillion peak in November 2021. The price per Bitcoin could very well skyrocket to the hundreds of thousands of dollars in the future. And yet, there are people who are unwilling to accept that value can be assigned to a digital item and remain convinced that Bitcoin is worthless because you can't see it. But let me ask you something. What exactly is what gives value to things? Number 9. Meta. Meta's business remains strong and continues to grow as the company's sales have consistently beat estimates driven by higher than anticipated average revenue per user. As Meta continues to further monetize its user base by increasing users' time spent on its platforms, a great deal of which is attributable to Instagram Reels. The company is also layering in more advertisements using artificial intelligence to better match users with the right ads. These initiatives are helping the company take market share from other advertising companies and helping to boost sales. With more users and usage time than any other social network, Meta provides the largest audience and the most valuable data for social network online advertising, and its ad revenue per user is growing, demonstrating the value that advertisers see in working with the firm. According to some analysts, Meta remains the best on the board absolutely and relatively, with a market cap of just over $1 trillion. Number 8. Silver. Thanks to its widespread use in the world as a form of currency and store of value, the silver market is worth $1.28 trillion. Silver has the highest electrical conductivity of any metal, making it a highly valuable substance, and because of its comparative scarcity, malleability, and resistance to atmospheric oxidation, silver has obviously long been used in the manufacture of ornaments, jewelry, and coins. In the past, all American coins contained 90% silver. In the early 1960s, however, supplies of silver in the United States dwindled to all-time lows, so the U.S. government stopped using silver in its coins after 1964. Funny enough, with the current price of $23 an ounce, these silver coins are worth approximately 20 times their face value in the precious metal content alone. So if you have a dollar coin from those times, you could sell it right now for around $20. Quite a good return on investment, I would say. Number 7. Nvidia. Nvidia was symbolic of last year's tech rally, all thanks to the emergence of generative AI. As a leading company in the AI chip market, Nvidia offers investors a great way to tap into those growth opportunities in generative AI, as the company's chips have been in high demand lately. Its shares tripled last year as the hype behind ChatGPT sent this already popular stock to new heights. And though things have now cooled down, there is still much more room for Nvidia's valuation to rise higher than its current $1.5 trillion in the future, as it is estimated that by 2026 more than 80% of enterprises will have used generative AI applications, or accessed application programming interfaces that utilize the technology compared to less than 5% in 2023. And if there is some explosive growth ahead in the AI chip market, that only makes the argument even stronger for Nvidia. Number 6. Amazon. Amazon is the clear leader in e-commerce and enjoys unrivaled scale to continue to invest in growth opportunities and drive the very best customer experience. Its success can be attributed to its growth strategy, which is one of the most successful in the history of business and has helped the company to expand into multiple different industries. At this moment, Amazon is valued at $1.6 trillion. The Amazon business model is simple. They provide a platform where sellers can sell their products and then take a percentage of the sales from their own marketplace. This model gives them an edge over their competitors as they are able to undercut prices on other retailers, and they don't have to compete with physical stores. They don't own any inventory or warehouses either, but instead use third-party sellers to fulfill customer orders. In doing so, Amazon is able to take advantage of economies of scale and scope by operating its business at a larger scale than traditional retailers. Number 5. Alphabet. Alphabet reported a 9% increase in ad revenue on their last earnings report, meaning the segment that makes up 77% of the Google parent's revenue may finally be recovering. cloud revenue grew 22% over the same time frame to $8.4 billion. And although this was a significant growth rate, Google Cloud revenue had increased by 38% annually in the year-ago quarter. So investors did not react too well to this, as many perceive Google Cloud as a key part of the company's future in driving company revenue, reducing the company's dependence on the ad market. Still, Alphabet stock rose by more than 40% in 2023, which has brought about a valuation of $1.9 trillion, and it is now trading near historical averages. On top of that, Alphabet holds significant intangible assets related to overall technological expertise in search algorithms and artificial intelligence, as well as access to and accumulation of data deemed valuable to advertisers. Number 4. Saudi Aramco. Of course, there had to be a Saudi Arabian company on this list, and of course, it could only be oil-related. Saudi Aramco is the most valuable oil company in the world and is a shining example of how strategic planning, visionary leadership, and effective government policies can transform a company into a global powerhouse. Saudi Aramco traces its roots back to the early 1930s, when Saudi Arabia first discovered oil reserves in commercial quantities. Recognizing the immense potential of this resource, the Saudi government formed a partnership with international oil companies to exploit and develop the oil fields. This partnership eventually led to the establishment of Saudi Aramco in 1988 as a fully state-owned company, which has since transformed into a global giant that profited more than $500 billion in 2022 and has obtained an insane valuation of $2.06 trillion. Number 3. Microsoft. Microsoft revenue topped $198 billion in 2022 and pulled in $8 billion in operating income. And it did that with a 33% profit margin, which is considerably larger than that of either Alphabet or Apple, two companies that popular opinion assumes have overtaken Microsoft. For years, though, Microsoft was stuck in a rut, due largely to an increase in competition and its failure to adapt to changes in the overall marketplace. At one point, it even seemed that Microsoft's name would become obsolete. However, things shifted under the leadership of CEO Satya Nadella, who took the reins in 2014 and made an aggressive move into services and cloud computing. Microsoft's Azure cloud computing system now has a solid percentage of market share globally and accounts for a big portion of the company's overall revenue. Microsoft is the largest vendor of computer software in the world, being valued at $2.96 trillion, and as the company has delivered continuous growth and thanks to its focus on cloud services and AI. Investors feel confident about the company's ability to deliver more growth in the future, which means they're willing to pay a higher price for its stock. Number 2. Apple. Apple became the first company ever to amass a $1 trillion market capitalization in 2018, and since then, it has held onto its rank as the most valuable publicly traded company in the world. As of 2024, the company's market capitalization is just over $3 trillion, which is way above the likes of other major technological companies. But what exactly makes Apple so valuable? Well, Apple is still in the virtuous cycle, meaning that it has a positive pattern where a successful solution leads to more of the desired result or another success. In turn, that generates still more desired results or successes in a chain. As long as Apple continues to innovate, there will be heightened demand for its products and services. This leads to pricing power, expanding profit margins, and improved cash flow, which help drive the stock price higher while also allowing Apple to return capital to shareholders. From the iPod to the iPhone, to the iPad and the Apple Watch, each new product has woven its way into the fabric of our culture. With each launch, Apple has kept its fiercely loyal customers on edge as they anticipate the next major breakthrough and the next creative upgrades to their devices. But some analysts question whether the company can keep the momentum going and maintain its footing as number 1, or whether a rival will eventually surpass it. Number 1. Gold. There really couldn't be any other asset at the top of this list. Throughout history, gold has been and still is perceived as a symbol of wealth, power, and majesty. Gold has been humanity's currency and store of value for thousands of years, and though today it is not used as a currency anymore, hundreds of millions of people around the world use it to store value against inflationary fiat currency. So it is no wonder the gold market is worth $13.65 trillion. However, there are still some people who argue that gold has no intrinsic value. They say it is a barbaric relic with no monetary qualities, contending that in a modern economic environment, paper or digital currency, such as Bitcoin, is the money of choice, and that gold's only worth is as a material for making jewelry. At the other end of the spectrum are those who assert that gold is an asset with various intrinsic qualities that make it unique and necessary for investors to hold in their portfolio. They believe that investors have as many reasons for investing in gold as there are gold investment vehicles. So, now we want to know what you think. Is gold, silver, or any other precious metal actually valuable? Do cryptocurrencies actually hold value? And if so, could we see Bitcoin or maybe another cryptocurrency overtaking silver or even gold as humanity's store of value and becoming the world's most valuable asset in years to come? Let us know all your thoughts in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and learned a thing or two, and you want us to make more of these, leave a like on this video and let us know in the comments section below. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our weekly top 10 videos. Thank you for watching. This is Who's Number One. See you next time.